Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Learn to Defend Cyber. My name is Joseph. We're going to be working on Try Hack Me's day 21 and 22 today. Yes, I had to be out yesterday, so we did not do day 21 live, and I lost my streak. Darn. We're gonna go ahead and jump right on into it. We're in for a long one. We're doing 2 days worth of Advent of Cyber, so I could imagine this stream is gonna be pretty long. Alright, let's pivot. We got day 21, reverse engineering, which is already going to be a doozy on its own. I've been dabbling with reverse engineering now for probably 6-7 months. It actually caught my interest because of a Try Hack Me room I did in the past. What's going on, BSEC? Jesse, welcome to the party, y'all. So yeah, let's do some reverse engineering, and then after we're done, what is day 22 looking like? Good God, that's a lot of scrolling. That's a little intimidating. Looks like day 22 is going to be Kubernetes DFIR. All right, I'm a little more excited for that one. I do digital forensics in a more junior position, mid-level now, but definitely not with Kubernetes. That is such a long walkthrough. I'm hoping it's mostly why is WannaCry here? Why is WannaCry here? Alright, let's start from the top. Day 21. Reverse engineering. McSkitty's dashboard lit up with an unusual alert. File sharing web app built by Glitch had triggered a security warning. Glitch had been working hard during the SOCMIS last scare with the Yule log exploit, but this new alert caused McSkitty to question his intentions. See, McSkitty investigates. It seems the source of the alert came from a bin file that made its way to the web app's backend. It did not belong there and had some anomalous activity. It was compiled with .NET, and the whole setup seemed quite unusual. Glitch working on the latest security updates. McSkitty was filled with suspicion. She continues her investigation. Glitch rushes in the room. I swear I did not put it there. I was testing defenses, but I wouldn't go that far. This doesn't look like your work. Let's get to the bottom of this. Put on your decompiling hat and see what we're dealing with. Alright. So, oh my god, I just finished day 22, an hour and 15 minutes. Oh boy. Alright, so how long did day 21 take you, BSEC? Because it sounds like I might be here for a hot minute, and I don't even know if my camera battery is gonna last that long. Alright, I already got the machine spun up because I knew that these machines sometimes take forever. Let's talk a little bit about reverse engineering, binary files, assembling versus decompiling. Oh boy, we're gonna try and speed run this a little bit. So reverse engineering. If you've ever had something broken and you've taken it apart to figure out how it works, to figure out where it was broken so that you could fix it, that's essentially reverse engineering. Now, why would we do that in a cybersecurity facet? We would want to reverse engineer malware so that, or it may not be malware, maybe it's an application we're working with and it's just not working for some reason. We would want to reverse engineer it so that we could figure out how it works and then either fix it, or in the case of malware, we could build detections, we could figure out ways to stop it. WannaCry is a great example. WannaCry, if you did not experience it, good for you, first off, because it hit a lot of places. I remember it hitting grocery stores. It's not necessarily the grandfather of ransomware, it's what made ransomware popular. People realized that they could do this and actually have it work. This is when single extortion was all the rage. Just encrypt the files and then, you know, hey, sell whatever data is there. Then double extortion came and they're like, okay, you got to pay us to delete the data and you got to pay to decrypt. And then triple extortion, blah 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 blah. It's getting worse because they want more money. They're just getting greedy, right? So WannaCry, if I remember correctly, and it probably has, yep, it has it in here. WannaCry was reverse engineered by this Mr. Marcus Hutchins, who I believe got arrested, by the way. He reverse engineered it, and he figured out that it was all coming from this one domain. Discovered a specific function in the application where the malware wouldn't run if a particular domain were registered and available. So basically there was a kill switch in it for whatever reason, that if this domain existed, it wouldn't run. Now I assume they had this domain in there just to contain the blow, because it was originally believed that this was supposed to be a targeted attack that just kind of got into the wild. It was interesting. It was interesting to see that be the case, and now people are still reverse engineering new ransomware, and they've gotten very, very complex, and they're still reverse engineering malware, because we try to make detections for our detection tools so that we can know when something's happening and hopefully get it before it is encrypting your files, or stealing data, or doing whatever else it does. Getting another glass of wine. Ooh, pour me one. Let's get some hot chocolate. It's 8 degrees? That's pretty cold. I did buy you a book. Alright. Alright, binaries. Binaries are files compiled from source code. You can run a binary when launching an executable file on your computer. At one point in time, the application would have been programmed in a programming language such as C#. It's then compiled, and the compiler translates code into machine instructions, because machines can't read what we read. Even assembly is still, it's pretty close to machine code, but it's not readable, right? Your CPU's thinking in ones and zeros. So it has to compile it into something machine readable, and it's going to turn it into that machine code. Okay. For example, Windows follows the PE, portable executable. If you ever look at any kind of Windows PE file, you'll see that little MZ magic byte at the top. Whereas Linux follows the ELF format, executable and linkable format. It's different for every operating system, and even sometimes you'll have it different on certain architectures. Mac OS is going to be the daemons. A code section contains instructions that CPU will execute. Data sections, such as variables, resources, images, anything that is data, anything that it needs to point to and reference, essentially, is the data section. And then import-export tables for grabbing libraries. If you remember the other day, we intercepted that game and we saw it interacting with libraries. Now, import-export tables, that's what that is, really. It's telling the machine, hey, you have this library, this is what I need you to push to it, and tell me what you get. It's so that we can have smaller applications, even though we seem to be wanting to move towards super unoptimized huge applications for no good reason. But you know, hey, whatever, that's neither here nor there. Alright, disassembly versus decompiling, they are not the same. Okay, disassembling a binary shows low-level machine instructions. So this is going to be your assembly. If you've ever seen assembly, it's pretty spooky scary. Can I just magnify it really quick to bring it up? Are y'all even going to be able to see that? Yes, you are. Doopity-boop. Just zoom in. That scary nonsense right here, that's assembly. This all means different things. It's all happening. You can see we have calls. It's calling different functions, moving to different points in the memory. I'm not the best with assembly, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what this is all doing. It's still kind of, we have a jump function. It's still kind of new to me. I have a lot of things on my 2025 to learn list. I'm going to be digging into this a lot, so I hope to have some more useful information in the future. But Josh Stroheim, whose last name I can never say, Cyber Yeti, great for learning reverse engineering. So tools such as IDA, Ghidra, and GDB. I've used IDA, I've used Ghidra, I have not used GDB. All very good. And I also got recommended a tool by a by a friend that I would actually have to go look up the name because it's slipping my mind for whatever reason. Decompiling, it comes back into a high level. So really quick, high level versus low level. Low level is more machine-like. High level is more human readable. Think your C sharps, Pythons, etc. Right? So when you decompile, you actually get more of what looks like the code. Did I hit the right switch there? Alright. Thank you, Jesse, for pointing out that the I was peeking a little bit. My bad. What's going on, Brandon Maverick? Alright. C++, C sharp. So that's going to be more human legible, human readable, right? We can see what's going on here. I can blow this up again. That's the inspect element. I did not need that. Please don't break the page. Thank you. Come on, back up. Where were we? Here we go. I can just hit this magnify image. Boom, comes up. We can read this, right? This is just C code. It's like, hey. The problem with decompilers is that they're not always 100% accurate. You're gonna get a lot more accuracy out of a disassembler than a decompiler. It can lose information such as variable names. The method of reverse engineering a binary is useful if you want a high-level understanding. Yeah, so it's a more lossy way of doing it. Also, if you can tell me in chat whether or not that helped with the peaking, I would appreciate that. Alright. There are circumstances where you want one over the other. Sometimes a best guess, or just do both and see if you can get anything. Readability. Obviously, low level is going to be harder to read than high level because high level has actual words, where low level is just assembly instructions. Level of output. Translated output is often a best guess, so if you ever do a decompiler, it's more likely to be a best guess, whereas a disassembler is more accurate. As we talked, difficulty, I mean, that's the same thing as readability. Usefulness, the entire behavior of the binary can be studied if given enough time. Decompiling is quick, whereas disassembly is a little more slow. Multi-stage binary. So back in the olden days, malware also usually kind of came in one package before it started getting detected heavy. Not anymore. They got smart. Now you got droppers. You have compilers. I mean, they even come with their own compilers sometimes. You have wrappers. You have blah 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 to make it all harder. We can see a kill chain here where you click on a message, it drops a dropper file. You click on that dropper file, it executes and pulls down some more some different malware, and then it will execute the malware that it pulled down. So the reason they do this is so it's harder to detect, right? You may have a dropper and it just goes undetected, and then you'll have an alert pop up when the actual malware gets executed, and that's at this last phase, right? But if you don't see this dropper happening, then you're not going to know how it got on there unless you really dug into logs and figured out what called it, what pulled it down. And depending on how they have things set up, you might actually have dropper files that call down this downloader, and it might have a stage somewhere where it establishes persistence in the form of sticking it in your runtime or your startup folder, sticking it or making scheduled tasks, some form that will consistently every time it's going to try and pull down this malware and execute again because that's what they want, right? .NET. Let's talk about .NET a little bit. .NET binaries, we're going to decompile them using the decompiler ILSpy. All right, and we're going to follow this walkthrough because no one wants to see me do this for an hour. We're going to use an example application called demo.exe, and then we're going to reverse an application on our own. Goody. No, I am very excited. I do like reverse engineering. It just, I'm trying to get some time saved here so we can do day 21 and 22 before my camera battery dies. So let's speed this up. All right, before analyzing, we need to learn and find a way to identify the original bin file, modify it, and use it as evidence. It also is good practice to have a big picture of the file we are dealing with so that we can choose the proper tools we need. Let's start by navigating to the file location in the demo folder on the machine's desktop by right-clicking the file named demo and clicking on properties. So we got this is our Linux machine, but right now we need to go to this demo file on the Windows machine they gave us. All right, right-click, go down to properties. Okay. We can observe that the file's extension is an .exe, so it is an executable right there. .exe, boom. We'll use PE Studio, great tool by the way. Software designed to investigate potentially malicious files and extract info from them without execution. This is I want to say I don't know if it's a disassembler or a decompiler, but I've used it before. It's pretty good. So let's go over here to PE Studio. Launch that. File. All right. Open file. And grab that demo.exe. It's on our desktop, so we can just go there. Demo. Open. And it gives us some info here that we use right off the bat. So it actually pulls info from VirusTotal. You have footprints, which if we go over here, you can get file hashes, which are great for notes. You have your sections here, your headers, which are your .text, and then the .rsc, which I don't know what an RSRC is, but I'm sure they're going to tell us. Entropy. So entropy is an interesting thing. I don't know how often it comes into practical use, but entropy is based off of an actual equation that can tell you how much of a given thing is made by humans, or if it was made by computers, randomly generated, that is. So entropy, like if you think of the word entropy, it just means chaos, right? It's chaotic. So if a file has high entropy, 4 is about normal-ish. It's a little on the higher side. But if you have higher entropy, like say 6 or 7, I don't even know if the scale goes that high. I'm gonna have to fact check entropy scale. Images. Do we have an entropy scale? Oh my gosh, look at those. Look at those graphs. So you can't, I mean, let me see. Coding. See if I can get a little more specific here. I'm not seeing the information. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it right now. Either way, just think of it as a quick glance on how much of it is randomized. That sounds horrible. We were complaining because it only got to 60 degrees. Yeah, that sounds like a normal state in the southern region, complaining that it only got to 60. All right. What else is there? We have a .NET namespace. Can tell you different information like the name, demo.exe, what version, nothing here that I think is significant. It might be significant, I don't know. Strings is a great one, by the way. Strings is a good one because it can tell you, you have your different. These are MITRE techniques, if you remember MITRE from the previous exercises, and then your file or your values like download file, process, sleep. That's an interesting one. That's usually signifying something that's trying to be persistent. Looks like it calls demo.exe at some point. It goes to I'm trying to make this bigger, but it doesn't want me to scale it for whatever reason. Come on. Come on. There we go. So these are just the strings that it's extracting. But let's just go back to the top. Oh yeah, first bytes and text, MZ. There's your magic bytes right there. That tells you that this is a portable executable. A Windows portable executable. Architecture type is 64-bit. In this case, it's a .NET framework that uses C# language. Let's focus on critical data we can obtain. You can see here, I pointed this out earlier. This is an MD5 hash. I prefer SHA-256 when I'm having to identify things, but this is actually section hashing, which is different. Sections represent a memory space with different content. We can calculate the hash of sections in order to identify the executable properly. The one from the .text section, and then the other one from the .rsrc. It is warm in here. Might have to turn down my heat a bit. Another essential section we can use is the indicators section. Yep. I actually glossed right over that one. Strings URL. Looks like we reach out to a website here, to the Try Hack Me Connect Ping PNG. And then we have a PDB down here that we try and grab. We reach out to a couple APIs. Either way. Alright. Screenshot above shows several strings on the file, like file names, URLs, function names, very important, things that we can use, quick wins, artifacts such as IP addresses, URLs, and crypto wallets. If you know David Bianco's Pyramid of Pain, those are all things that are not so much higher, but they're definitely more difficult. IP addresses can be changed pretty easy, URLs pretty easy, crypto wallets might take a little work to spin up a new crypto wallet. I mean, sometimes. For gathering and identifying some intelligence. We'll talk about that in the next section, apparently. We learned that it's a .NET used by the C# language. We can decompile it using ILSpy. So let's go ahead and launch ILSpy and use that. So PE Studio is good for actually just like kind of getting an understanding of what you're looking at, so that you can use a different tool. I know PE Studio does have a lot of actual functionality. Come on, ILSpy. You can do it. You can think about doing it. It's supposed to be a high of 26, but it still went out. Gonna get cabin fever. Oh yeah. Sitting by the fire sounds like a good time to me. So, ILSpy. Let's make this bigger, please. Alright. Yep. We'll select the demo file. Or we won't. Hold on. File open. Oh yeah, I didn't even do that. File open. Grab it from our desktop, because that's where the file is located. Demo. Demo. Open. Alright. So what do we have here? We have some information about where it's set. It didn't grab any kind of public key. It tells us the architecture again, what runtime version we're using. It was compiled using the / deterministic option, and our hash algorithm is SHA-1. Runtime compatibility expression is thrown true. It's debuggable. It says it's not debuggable, apparently. Assembly type demo. Assembly product demo. This is our global unique identifier. And it targets the .NET Framework version 4.7.2. And our assembly version is just 1.0. I need to go down here and actually look at our flags. Name of the function that downloads and executes in Wareville app.exe. Once we execute, it downloads another binary to the downloads. What's the name of the binary? But domain name is one from the file that is downloaded after running Wareville app.exe. So this is all after the walkthrough is done. All right. So nothing we got to focus on right now. We can just keep walking through this. Where were we? We were here. As we can observe from the left panel, it contains libraries used by the framework. Yep, if we expand this using this little plus button over here, we get references. We have the demo binary. Anyways, we can dig down into that a bit using the plus button, and let's see what it tells us to do with that. Okay, contains the libraries used by the framework. The actual decompiled code is in this section with the file name demo. Let's click on it. Click on it. It decompiles it. Okay, so this is where some coding knowledge can come in handy. It writes a line to the console saying hello THM demo binary. Then it goes to sleep using the same thread. Gives us an address to that tryhackmeconnect.png. Path combine environment get folder path environment special folder desktop. I assume that it's going to try and grab that PNG. Yep. Using the web client. It tries. It says it's going to download the file. Uses the web client to download the file. Writes a new line saying, hey, I downloaded it to wherever it downloaded it to. And then start a process using a shell to say we opened the image. So it's just going to download a PNG, and then it's going to try and open the PNG. What happens if it doesn't work? It says, well, I can't do it, and writes an error. Then we exit out, and we have a console write line that says bye-bye, and then it goes back to sleep. Okay. Screenshot above shows and provide much information like metadata and references. The actual show is displayed on the bracket symbol, in this case under demo primary program main. We just explained what's going on over here. Sleep method to wait for 5 seconds. Yep, we went through all this. Connect to the URL. Yep. Finally, it prints the message leaving, and then sleeps before closing. Cool. Pretty easy, right? Not a super complex binary. It looks okay. Let's execute the file and see if this is true. Yeah! Let's detonate some malware. Now, remember, only detonate malware in sandbox environments or on computers you don't care about. Preferably not network connected. Alright, we got it launched. You hit enter. Downloads a file. We got it, and it opens up. That's right. That's our little PNG. And we saw it run. After executing the file, we can observe that it was downloaded to desktop. The message prints to screen as expected, and the download file is executed using the default app for PNG Paint. We successfully reverse engineer it. We know what's going on, and now they want us to do it on our own with the Wareville app.exe. So buckle in. Let's do it. We'll start the same way we did before. We'll start by opening PE Studio as if this were real life. Alright, by the way, you can just drag and drop into PE Studio, which is nice. it has to wait a second while it grabs things from it, but we can take a look at what we have already. We can see it's a portable executable with the MZ, the SHA-256 value right here, MD5 hash. Remember, if you don't know, a hash is just a unique value generated to identify something. It is a one-way value. You can actually hash things pretty easy. We can actually show that off really quick with PowerShell. Now, if you were on Linux, it would be a different command, obviously. But let's see, we're in there. We can change to our desktop. All right, we'll list it out here, and we can go get dash file hash if I can type. You know what? Can I make this bigger? Probably not. I don't have the handy dandy Control Shift plus. Not on PowerShell. Can I just Control plus to make it bigger? Nope, but I can right click, go to properties, font, and then I can just blow it up here. We'll go to 28. 28 is probably big enough. Oh yeah, plenty big. All right, get file hash. All right, now from here you could specify the algorithm. We'll just do with the default one, which should just be MD5 if I remember correctly. Wareville app. Probably gonna throw an error because I didn't put the XE. All right, actually no, it defaulted as SHA-256. We have that file hash whenever you download files from the internet. Even if it's from a trusted source, that is a really, really quick way to make sure that you have the right file, because file hashing has what is called cascading changes, where even if a single byte were to change, it's going to have a completely different value. And you see that lines right up with the value that it grabbed. It's still going. Dang, y'all. Come on. Hurry up. Okay. Thanks for going through and explaining the code. Yeah, of course. I'm just glad I expanded. I'm glad I understood it. Windows default is 256. Oh, is Linux default the MD5? Jesse, I always get mixed up which one's which. I could have sworn that Windows defaulted to MD5. It might be Linux that does it. Dang, this is taking a hot second. It might be a bigger XE. Do we have anything? It might also it might have anti-debugger things where it's not letting us see any of this. We can get some info about this DLL that we pulled. Nothing cool. DOS header. Directories. We got 8 out of the 15 directories. Import resource exceptions. Debugs. I don't know why it's not giving us our indicators here. It's just telling us to wait. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna move on to IL Spy. I'm impatient, and this is a lab. If this were my day job, I'd give it time. Alright, we can go ahead and file open. This is decompiling. No, we don't need you to do that. You can cancel. It's okay. Alright, let's go ahead and open our... Go to desktop, go to Wareville app, open it up. Alright. So, what is the function name that downloads and executes files in the Wareville app.exe? So if you remember, we're going to do the same exact way that we did this last time. You expand it. All right. And then we have another drop down we can do right here. And then we're going to go to this, I think, fancy app more than likely. Okay. Go down to program. And here's our main section for anybody who has ever programmed before. Main is usually where you start, but this does not look right. So we have other things here we can go to. What is form? Login form. Login form? Let's start from the top. Wareville app. Tell me about you. Okay. So, it's just giving us general information that we already know. We have resources here. Fancy app form 1. Resource test. We have references here. Okay. I'm gonna pull these up. I'm not seeing anything interesting. Our main one is voided for some reason. What do we have? Or what else do we have? Embedded attribute. Nothing cool. There's a lot of libraries that it pulls from. Wareville app.properties. That might be interesting. Go to resources. Nope, just makes a call to it. So yeah, this is definitely a more complex app. I might actually have it run in PE Studio in the background while we crawl around the application and see if we can get any information. Gotta head out and take the dog for a walk. Alright, man. Have a good time. See you tomorrow. Alright, let's go ahead and throw Wareville in there and just let it run. See if it can actually pull out some indicators so that we can have a quick win or two. That'll run in the background. Expand this, go to our module. Is there anything interesting here? It's not looking like it. Oh, let's see. It's probably in one of these. You know what? It's gonna be in like one of these libraries or something. Throwing us for a loop. They they went from a super easy application to something that has some, I wouldn't say maybe complexity is a bad word, but it's definitely. What do we have here? What's in our metadata? MZ, bytes on last page, relocations, size of header, some reserved words, data directories. What's this? We have a .text, we have RSRC. What do we have in the string heap? Let's see. Download and execute file, download file. I wonder if that's the function right here, download and execute file. I don't know if it's case sensitive. Execute file. Yep. Ah, just like that. So that was a educated guess, by the way. So the string heap is going to, I can't find the actual block of code. I don't know where it is in here, but the string heap is a nice little area you can go to where it pulls strings from the application out, and you can get function names from there. Download and execute file being it doing exactly what it says it does. What was the hint? I have to wonder. IOSI tool, expand the form 1 section and inspect each function. So what did they want us to do? Form 1. We have a progress bar. Timer, form 1. Initializes the component. Dispose. Download. No, well, there it is. Download and execute file. That's a good one. Now that I know where it is. I would not have known it was there, but that makes sense. Alright. Download and execute file function. Points, we have a string, goes to a web server, mirc2.thm on 8080. very common web server port for the HTTP. It's going to path combine, get folder path of our user profile, downloads folder. I wish this was word wrapping, but it's not. Come on. Come on, window. Alright, goes to our downloads folder in the file explorer. That's your explorer.exe. If the file exists, it deletes it. Also, it grabs the file using the web client, by the way. I skipped over that. If the file exists, it deletes it. If it doesn't, it's going to download the file. With the exception, we have an exception here. If something happens, it's just going to say an error occurred, and then it'll close out. Form 1 load. What do we have here? I was going to... I mean, it looks like... If... I'm assuming this is just a function for something. Yeah, if it's not Windows, that's what that exclamation point means. If this is not Windows, then it's going to give us the error, hey, it's only compatible with Windows. It can only be executed on the Windows OS, and then it'll just sleep and close out. And initialize. Oh boy. Oh, let's see. Looks like we're just manipulating this picture box a lot. We start up a progress bar. This is just docking it and nothing interesting. Base controls, add the progress bar, add the picture box. So this is giving us a loading box almost. Base name form 1. From start position, go to the center of the screen, and then make it happen. Is Windows. So what happens if we're on Windows? It just returns that, hey, we're on Windows. All right, nice and easy. Execute the assembly. String name, Wareville, resources test.png. So it's going to see if it can grab that. If stream does not equal null, it grabs picture box 1 image from the image stream. Else it says failed loading image resource. And then we have a timer. Download and execute file, login form. So this is just a timer that downloads a file. And says Wareville login. And then it shows it to you. Okay. Awesome. What is our next flag? Once we execute the app, we're going to download another binary to our downloads folder. What is the name of the binary? Remember, only detonate malware in a sandbox. I double-clicked. It's spinning. It's working. It's living. Nothing happened to our eyes, but something probably happened in the background. Nope. I would say that's our progress bar that I just threw an application in front of. Okay, it's working here. All right, it gives us a new application called Explorer. Explorer.exe. What is the domain name? What domain name is the one from where the file is downloaded after running Wareville? What? What domain name is the one from where the file is downloaded after running Wareville app.exe? Does that sentence not make sense to anybody else? I know what it's asking, but that's weirdly worded. What domain name is the one from where the file is downloaded? So it's trying to ask me where the file was downloaded, this explorer.exe. Let's go to properties, see if there's an easy win there. Probably not. Details. Comes from Amazon, apparently. Anything interesting? No. Previous version. So I guess what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to find the function that downloads the file. Didn't it grab? No, it grabbed the picture box, but it did not grab exe from this form, logon form. So this is definitely like a Trojan type deal happening here, showing us a log on and blah blah blah. Let's see. Password, label the username. Makes the text box. This is our logon form. This is the functionality for our logon button. Interesting. Oh boy. This is more of our stylization, just giving the logon form body. Nothing there. I want to know where we downloaded that from. So where would I find it? It's gonna be in one of our things. Is it from this one I got earlier? The components? Where did I grab that from? Oh man. That was... Oh, you know what? It was in this download and execute file. Oh, yeah, I found it earlier. The mayor.c2. Duh. I don't know how much of this it wants. Mayor C2, I think it just wants the mayor C2.thm. This is why notes help, by the way. .thm, submit. Alright, stage 2 binary is executed automatically and creates a zip file compromising the victim's computer data. What is the name of the zip file? Oh boy. Let's see. It executes the file, but now we're interested in what the file does. So you know what we can do? We can actually open it the same way we just opened this one. Just open it. Boom. Tell me what you do. Who are you and what do you want? You've come to my house, you're gonna tell me what you want. File collector, that seems pretty important. Alright, keep expanding, go down. Program, anything interesting here? No. But we do have the main string, which is voided, I assume. Oh boy. Alright. Searching for files, it grabs the folder path. It's looking for these file extensions, docx, pptx, png, gif, jpeg. So this is an info stealer. If it ends with the extension, combine it, get the file path name, file found and copied. Alright, it gives us, it puts everything into this collected files.zip. If it says it didn't find anything, it says no files were found, and then it would probably just end there. I don't know what the else is yet. Well, I don't know what the continuation is. Else, it says, hey, this is how many files were grabbed. If it exists, text to file delete. Existing zip file in the temp folder was deleted. Creates a new zip file. Create from directory. Zip file created successfully. Called collected files.zip. If the file exists, text 3. Else, existing zip file in pictures deleted. So I'm assuming it's in our pictures directory, right? Did it say that earlier? Oh yeah, yeah, it hides it right up here. Environment, get folder path, environment, special folder, my pictures. So it's going to go to whatever logged in user's pictures. So we'll go here, we'll go to pictures, and there is our zip file. Okay. What is the name of the zip? It is collected files. .zip. What is the name of the C2 server where the stage 2 binary tries to upload files? I'm sure it's probably in here. Uploading zip file. Where are you uploading to? Tell me, please. I would love to know. We have a new function down here called upload to files server, and it goes to anonymous c2.thm. So a little bit of little bit of smoke and mirrors right there. You know, if we just found that Mare C2 and we had that as a detection, we'd see, hey, it's doing that, but we wouldn't have seen this anonymous one. Anonymous C2.thm. I suck at spelling. C2.thm. And if we enjoyed that, check out the X86 assembly crash course. All right, let's take a breather. That's day 21. We got day 22. Let's cue it up and hit it. Oh man, Mariana Albright, whoop whoop indeed. I'm probably gonna grab a water while I spin this machine up. Why doesn't let me spin this machine up? Is it because I still have that other instance? Hold on, you know what? I probably have to terminate it. Terminate this. Terminate the AOC RE, please. Thank you. We can kill the split view again. And we'll start the machine for day 22. And we'll talk about some Kubernetes DFIR. I'm sure we're probably going to do it the old-fashioned way. No fancy tools, just grepping a dream. Alright. This is going to load. I'm going to grab a water. I will be back. Jesse Johnson, LFG. Absolutely. LFG. Let's freaking go. Alright. I will be back in 5 minutes, probably less. I just want this machine to load and I need water. So I'll be right back. Thank you. All right. Day 22. Let's dig in. Go ahead and use the 2 arrows over here to view in full screen, and we can kill the split view now. So oh my, that's normal. So we got an Ubuntu machine over here, and what are we gonna do with it? I don't even know if we need an attack box right now. We don't. I'll keep it up just in case. All right. Kubernetes. We have a long poem. Mayor malware laughed at what he'd done. Another scheme hatched, another scheme won. But a thought passed the mayor. That thought passed twice. The list soon to come, the naughty or nice. He paced and paced. A week of election. That was it. A surprise mayor inspection. The list making wares, well, it only seemed fair, would grant him temp access and account for the mayor. The list makers, I can see where this is going. The list makers agreed under certain conditions. He logged on that day to confirm his suspicions. The next day when the naughty list read Mare Malware line 1, he read it with dread. The conditions they gave, there's something they missed, and somehow, some way, he accessed the list. He smiled and he'd find no blame if he would find a new home for his name. So it sounds like our little elves here have something called over-permissioning happening in their environment, where there's too many perms happening for Mr. Mare Malware here. Alright. Learn about Kubernetes, why it's used. Learn about DFIR and the challenges that come with DFIR in an ephemeral environment. And learn how DFIR can be done in the Kubernetes environment using log analysis. So, let's talk about Kubernetes. Kubernetes, sometimes called K8, depending on who you talk to. Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters and an S, K8s. Kubernetes is Kubernetes. Oh man, sorry, random brain fart there. Think of Kubernetes as a highly scalable VM-ish platform, right? We've talked about virtual machines. We're using virtual machines right now. We can read from here, right? A monolithic architecture is an application built as a single unit, single code base, usually single executable, deployed on a single component. Kubernetes is different. Oh boy, I think I just hit a massive lag spike. That's all right. Kubernetes is a little different, right? Kubernetes is scalable. It's in the cloud. So the problem with monolithic applications is that if a single part of an application needs scaling, the whole application has to be scaled with it. Makes far more sense for companies with applications that receive fluctuating levels of demand to break down the application and run them as microservices. So instead of having one app that does all of the things, you have a bunch of microservices, and you'll be able to scale with the demand of the different microservices. Okay. Microservice architecture was adopted by companies like Netflix. I think, oh man, someone had a study somewhere on like how many like servers Netflix had at one point before they switched to Kubernetes. They need to scale up their services dedicated to streaming when a new title is released, while services dedicated to reg, billing, etc. don't need the same scaling. They made a microservice architecture. As time went by, companies similar to Netflix hopped aboard the microservices express. I like that term. And it became widely adopted. Hosting the microservices, containers were chosen due to their lightweight nature, a container being a very lightweight virtual machine. As you may imagine, an application of this scale can require hundreds, thousands of containers. So Kubernetes was invented. Kubernetes manages these containers. It can deploy them, it can delete them, it can make it scale elastically, it can do all of the things that you would want it to do. Exactly what Kubernetes is made for. It's the orchestration system. Okay. One of these microservices mentioned earlier is running in a container, and suddenly there's increased traffic. The container can no longer handle the request, so it just spins another one up, and it balances the traffic between the two. And Kubernetes does it all for you. There's a funny way. So if you don't, it's usually smart to implement limits to your scaling, because an attacker may take advantage of unlimited scaling and just send hundreds of thousands of millions of requests at your resources, your servers, whatever your application may be, and just cost you a lot of money because you're spinning a bunch of Kubernetes machines up and taking compute hours in. Okay, Kubernetes is so ubiquitous in digital landscape today. It means it's highly portable, highly available, scalable, everything you want the cloud to be, everything you want your accessible application to be. Containers run in pods, pods run on nodes, and a collection of nodes is a Kubernetes cluster. Within a cluster, McSkitty and Co.'s investigation will occur today. If you're interested in learning more about Kubernetes, bug Graham Helton. I'm joking. He's a great resource for Kubernetes hacking and whatnot. Graham's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Kubernetes. There's 2 rooms, Intro to Kubernetes, and then there's plenty more with the Kubernetes hardening module. We can talk about DFIR a little bit. So, digital forensics, incident response, DFIR, digital forensics, performing forensics on digital assets. I mean, it sounds like a dumb way of breaking down, but it does exactly what it says on the tin. Aims to collect and analyze digital evidence of an incident. Okay, artifacts are collected from the affected system to trace the chain of attack and uncover all facts that ultimately led to the incident. DFIR experts sometimes use the term post-mortem to indicate their analysis starts after the incident occurred. And then you can have live incidents where you are actively threat hunting and more of the incident response type situation. So post-mortem would be like you got ransomed and then someone comes and collects all the forensics, right? That's post-mortem analysis. The IR portion focuses on responsive actions, such as threat containment, system recovery, etc., etc. Responders will isolate infected machines, use the data collected during the analysis to identify the hole in the security and close it, and then recover the affected systems to a clean previous to compromised state. Incident responders may also be your first responders, where you are collecting your forensics for your digital forensics analyst to go through and find your different indicators of attack, indicators of compromise, whatever else you may need. Okay? Picture them as a emergency first responder who aims to extinguish the fire. I always love using that as my metaphor, extinguishing the fire. They're like CSI, trying to recreate a crime scene and figure out what happened. Alright. They are both expected to document all findings thoroughly. The incident responder will present them. That is called your timeline. You want to make a timeline. You want it to be solid. There are no maybes in digital forensics. There are yes and there are no's. If you cannot say a yes or a no, then you should not make assumptions. If you cannot prove it without beyond a shadow of a doubt, then it's probably not worth presenting. And if you do have to present it because something relies on it, you have to specify that you are not 100% sure about this so that you cannot be held liable. And you better be able to back up why you're not 100% sure. There may be a lack of evidence. That's fine. It happens. You can't lie about evidence just in case it does have to go to court. Okay, we're going to help retrace malicious actor steps. Alright, here are our main questions. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. You want to hit the 5 W's. What happened? When did it happen? Who initiated? To what? Where? And from where was it initiated? Where was it going? And how did it happen? Kind of falls into that, falls into like the whole collection of the 5 W's. It can be a lot of fun. Feels like a digital detective. I agree. Connecting dots to create a narrative string of events explaining what happened. What if it vanished into thin airs moments after the crime was committed? That happens in these ephemeral environments. It happens in physical environments. This is a problem we face regularly when carrying out DFIR in a Kubernetes environment. It's because, as mentioned, workloads run in containers. It's very common that a container will have a short lifespan, and it'll disappear, and so goes with it the forensics. So what can we do? We have to expand our digital detectives toolkit The key to keeping track of the ongoings is in your often ephemeral workloads within your Kubernetes environment is increasing visibility we can do Kubernetes audit logging. Kubernetes provides allowing for requests to the API to be captured at various stages. If a user makes a request to delete a pod, this request will be captured. It's audit logging. All right. What events and requests are captured can be defined with the audit policy. If you've ever used Active Directory before, there are some things that are not turned on by default in Windows audit logging that are nice to have that you will not always have. So it's much the same, right? Okay. This just scratches the surface in terms of visibility. We have the audit logs as well as events from other security relevant sources into runtime security tools, which help transform the raw events into actionable data. If you want more on that subject, check out the Kubernetes Runtime Security Room. Okay. Where? All right. We're going to be going through lots and lots of logs. Ah, dude, I love it. I love lots and lots of logs. Sometimes I feel like that's what my entire life is lots and lots of logs. And there's nothing better about it. That's where you can get all the juicy information you need. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I can see lots and lots and lots of logs. It reminds me of that old commercial. Oh man. I don't know. This might be a little bit more of a my generation thing. But there used to be a commercial that ran all the time for this like disc set of CD or DVDs and CDs. It's like lots and lots of boats and planes or boats and trains. You know, it was some dumb as seen on TV thing for like the 5 to 8 year olds to freak out about because they wanted to see all the trains and stuff. And it was just like recordings of trains. I don't know. It was a funky commercial. So let's look at our flags here so that we have an idea of what we're looking for, what questions we want to answer. All right. What is the name of the web shell that was used by malware? What file did malware read from the pod? What tool did malware use to search for that could be used to create a remote connection from the pod? It's only 2 letters. I can only guess that it's NC, but I'll wait to answer it until we have the evidence, because as I said, you want evidence to support your findings. What is the IP connected to the doctor registry that was unexpected? At what time was the first connection made? At what time is the updated malicious image pushed to the registry? And what is the value stored in the pooled cred secret? Look at that. Look at that beautiful, what is that, XML? Stop with the inspect element, please. Get out of here. I right-clicked on accident. Go all the way back down. I think is that JSON? Yeah, we got something interesting here. All the way back up. All right, following the cookie crumbs. Let's dig in. Minikube start. All right, so that's gonna start up our mini Kubernetes environment. We'll launch our terminal. Oops. Do that again. Start. All right. That'll launch our little Kubernetes environment. What's going on, J-Mod? Yeah, late night. I'm making up for being absent yesterday. I sped through day 21. It actually felt like I made pretty good time considering the length of the room. So here we are doing day 22. All right, Minikube started. Looks like it's still launching. I don't know if it's still launching or if it's done. I don't use Kubernetes very often, so take roughly 3 minutes for the cluster to configure itself and start. You can verify that it's up and running using the following command: kubectl get pods -n whereville. Do I need a different terminal to do that, or can I do that here? Get. Oh, no, it is still definitely doing stuff. Alright, we'll let it run. Just hanging out. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, man. I hope you're doing well as well. I think it's gonna be a nice week. Hopefully. Knock on some wood. I'm taking a small break from my master's program, so ultimately I did not end up finishing in my 3-month time span that I wanted to do, but I'm kind of just aiming for end of February now, because that's just the end of my my semester that I paid for. So hopefully if I can just do it in one semester, I'll be happy. But I had to take a step back and kind of make a decision not to burn myself out like that and actually get some quality from the material I was studying. So I'm not gonna call that like a failure. All right, are we good? Yep, it says done. Let's blow up this terminal a bit. All right, kubectl git pods -n for name, I would assume. It's called Wareville, just simple Wareville. Okay, we can see our pods here. We have morality checker, naughty and nice, naughty picker, and nice picker. If all of the pods are up and running based on their status, you're good to go. They are all up and running. Oh boy. Jumped to the bottom on accident. Go back to where we were. Too bad they all look the same. Alright. kubectl execute Wareville, naughty or nice, -it. They don't explain what that does, but that's fine. kubectl exec naughty or nice, and it was -it, correct? Wareville. I had to specify the area first. Hold on. Wareville. -it. I probably could have just copied this command, honestly. I have to go back and add the -n in. -it bin bash /bin/bash, and we're in seemingly the naughty nice application. Let's review the Apache 2 access log. Morality checker. Yeah. Are we being more moral? So if we just cat out the var log Apache 2 access log, which I'm just going to copy for speed's sake, cat used to copy dump out the contents of a file. Probably going to just get a lot of noise here. Yeah, log files are pretty noisy. I can probably make this a little bit bigger so we can read it easier. Come on. Alright, beautiful. We have to the 28th of October, it seems. 28th of October, 28, 28, 28. Yeah. Oh, well, we go to the 29th for a bit. We see something interesting with a request being made to a shelly.php file. I'm going to take a screenshot of that real quick. Send that to Jerry in a moment. Tells us we are on the right track. Terminate your session using the exit command. Where did we see that? Oh, we can... well, if you remember that day we made the PHP shell... If you remember the day we made the PHP shell, you might remember seeing this in the logs. We have somebody figuring out who they are on the 29th of October, 2024 at 12:32, so that's noon. 48 seconds plus 000, so we're at Greenwich Mean Time. I want to say, I think that's what the plus 000 means. I would assume that just means that it's Greenwich Mean. Okay. Give me a moment here. What did I just do? I did not mean to do that. Come back. All right, sorry about that. Okay. McSkitty knew that the log source was ephemeral and decided to ensure that remote backups of the log source was made. We can navigate to our backup directory using the cd home dfr artifacts command to go to that backup directory. By the way, backing up your logs is a phenomenal practice. You should, 1, centralize your logs in some form of SIM so that you can go through all of them easily, and 2, have backups of your logs just in case an attacker were to come in and delete them. So let's list this out. We have an audit.log, we have a Docker registry.logs.log, and a pod Apache access log. So I think we're going to be looking at that pod Apache log, so we can go ahead and type out cat pod, hit tab to autocomplete, and we have our Apache logs. So remember, I think I said 12:32 on the 29th was when we saw that get to the shell. Who am I? Okay. We got 200 OKs. Do we have anything else that looks interesting? Index.js. Little savage. I mean, honestly, I don't want to take a step ahead of the thing here, but what I would do is grep this out with anything else with that shelly.php to see if we had any more interesting things. But I'm going to, well, I mean, they're right here at the bottom. Who am I? Who am I? ls, figure out where they are. They can cat the database. They run who am I again? Which plus nc, so they're spinning up netcat. Okay. We hit a bit of a brick wall because the pod was configured using a port forward. We don't see the actual IP that was used to connect to the instance. And we don't fully understand how the web shell found its way into the pod. However, we rebooted the cluster and the web shell was present, meaning it must live within the actual image of the pod itself. So we need to investigate the Docker image registry itself. To view the registry container ID, run the following command: Docker ps What are we looking for here? Oh, to view the registry container ID. So we're looking for this registry 27. So I'm assuming we want the container name plus image or slash ID. So we want to grab this name container or registry 2.7. Alright, is it going to be different for us? No, it's still registry 2.7, and we have our container ID right here. So let's copy this full command real quick. Docker exec container name slash ID, and we'll just fill in our variables. So let's paste that in. Alright, and this is what we have to change. So let's go back and change it. Container name is registry 2.7, and then slash ID of, hopefully this just auto copies. Control C, Control V, perfect. Move that extra white space. ls al var log. No such container. Do I not need the 2.7? Can I just do registry? I can. Container is not running. Is that the expected output? No, it is not. Oh, you know what? Its name is registry priv. Its name is registry priv. There is... I have a permission denied. Unable to start container process exec as a directory unknown permission. Okay. Do I not need the slash? Do I have to put quotes around this because of the white space? Do I just use the name? Maybe it was saying I could use one or the other? It was saying I could just use one or the other. Alright, a little bit of troubleshooting there. Yeah, what's going on, Kim? Welcome. Late Sunday, Sunday night for everyone. Yeah, yep. Figured, what better to make me want to pass out? Yeah. Hey, if you need some bedtime material, I've got Christmas lo-fi and my walkthrough of Kubernetes DFIR. Okay. See if we have any logs. Root. We hit a wall since we don't have any registry logs. Luckily, Docker itself would keep the logs for us. Let's pull the logs using Docker logs, container name. So it's going to be that same registry priv. And paste that in there. Registry priv. Yep, that definitely looks like logs to me. That looks like a lot of words. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a lot. Now we should be able to use grep to help us narrow it down a little bit. What's going on? So pull the logs using the following. We have something we can use. These logs have been pulled for you and stored in the Docker registry's log file. Let's start by seeing all the different connections that were made to the registry. Yes, awesome. They want us to use grep. Good. So grep finds whatever value we put in. We're looking for head, and we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut some blank space. Okay, go all the way back down. Cut is just gonna make it to where it that's basically our delimiter, right? Control-Shift-V. And we have a bunch of different IP addresses. We have a 172.17.01 address that connects a few times. We have a 132.53 address, and then that 17.01 comes back. So we only have 2 IP addresses. Just happens multiple times. Most of the connections made to our registry was from the expected IP of 172, but we can see that 10.10.130 is not expected, so that's probably not good. Let's find all the requests made by this IP, so we can use grep to just look for that IP. I forgot. Stop it. I forgot the quotation mark. Well, now there's 2 quotation marks. I don't know if that's going to mess anything up, honestly. Give me a moment. What am I doing now? Stop this. Stop this madness. Oh, it's because I have the command in there twice. Alright. These are all of our logs with that IP address that we have identified to be anomalous. What do we have going on? Docker client, Linux. Can I move this and make this kind of wider so we can have a little less word wrap happening here? Do we have anything here that is interesting? Looking at our wishlist web blob. It looks like we have a patch command. We're uploading some random strings. We're putting a file. Using Arch Linux. They're leet. They're leet. Put uploads. Okay. Alright. So what are we looking at? Tell me, oh great try-hack me. Now, we are getting somewhere. Let's look at the first few requests. We can see the request to read the manifest for the wishlist web image succeeded, as we have the return code 200. That would be this log right here. Get the manifest 200, so they definitely saw it. We also notice the user agent in the request is Docker, meaning it was made through the Docker command line to pull the image. If they had the credentials to pull an image, the same credentials might have allowed them to push a new image. We can verifying this by looking for the patch. We did see patch a couple times. It's not good. It means malware could push a new version of our image. That would explain why the web shell is now persistent in our image. Then push the compromised image back to the registry. Use the information to answer questions 4 through 6 at the bottom of the task. Oh boy. Alright, let's scroll down. I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick. Alright, questions 4 through 6. What was the IP connected that was strange? That is our 10.10.132.53. 10.10. I think, what it was, 152 or 132.53. 132.53. Alright. At what time is the connection made from this IP to the Docker registry? That would be that 200 OK we had. Docker registry. We wanted the Docker registry. Hold on. We go back up. What did that look like? Docker CLI was used to connect to the registry. Are they asking when it first happened? First connection? It would probably be this one right here. This is our first connection. Control-Shift-C. Probably not. I'm probably wrong. Nope, that's right. Alright, so that's our first connection, because that's our first log. At what time is the updated malicious image pushed to the registry? Down here, we're looking for that patch command that we saw earlier. It's pushed at October 29th at 12:34. Oh, hold on. I don't even know if that copied, but we'll find out. Yep. And I think that's the 3 questions we could have answered with that. So what is the value in the store? Yeah, we haven't gotten to that, it seems. Alright, back up. I'm gonna read chat real quick. What's going on, FedEx? Welcome. I'm not saying I'm 100% excited about what it was Hackenfest being in Denver in the winter. It's gonna be awesome. Jesse. It's 55 on my side of town, losing it with big jackets and coats. That's that Flo Rida weather. Alright. So it looks like an attack happened via an authenticated Docker registry push. Now it's time to return to our Kubernetes environment and determine how this was possible. McCity was made aware that malware was given access by the DevSecOps team that he wouldn't have had sufficient perms. That was not the case, it seems. To do this, we need to check what role was assigned to the mayor, and then we want to probably look at what that role can do. So we will push that. All right, he has job runner and mayor user, 66 days old, so when he was permissioned. All right, and we can use the kubectl describe role binding to actually show you what the role can do. Okay. Or at least who it was bound to, and it's just mayor malware. From the output, we can see that it's bound to mayor malware. Then we're going to check the role to see what perms are there. We're going to describe the role using a similar command. We'll copy that, paste it over here. So he can do create get list of pods. He can get list and describe role bindings. He can get list and describe roles, and he can get list and watch pods. That seems pretty normal, right? From the output, tells her something important. A lot of the permissions here you would expect for a non-admin user in a Kubernetes environment. All of those except for the permissions associated with pods exec. Oh yeah, that is, I didn't even realize it was pods exec. I thought it was just pods, and now that I'm going over it a second time, I see the pods exec. That is not good. Exec allows the user to shell into the containers running within a pod. That gives her the idea of what he might have done. So we're gonna go look at our audit log using a nice big long grep command that we can kind of walk through here. All right, we're looking for the user. We're looking for the word user, username malware. Looking for the resource word and verb, just to see what he did. Oh boy, big blocks of text. Returns a lot of logs. Let's go through them. And McSkitty can start to form the attack path taken. This log snippet tells us mayor malware attempted to get the secrets stored on the cluster but received a 403 response as he did not have sufficient permissions. Note a plural get command runs a list on the back end and why it appears as so in the log. So what do we have here? Event, API, audit K8, level request response. Response complete. Username mayor malware from the internal address, from the kubectl. Let's see, status failure, message secret is forbidden user, cannot list resource and secrets in API group. Forbidden, that's that 403 in the namespace because it's forbidden because I guess because he just doesn't have the permissions. So we have a new snippet here, cat audit log, grep color. We're looking for this. Oh, this is the same thing. He's getting the roles here. After being denied secret access mayor malware, then started snooping to see what roles were present on the cluster. So he's going to list all roles available. Then he's going to have them described to see what permissions there were. Okay, we can see that happening here. Verb get, user groups example, blah blah, user agent, job runner. Yeah, so there's the get roles right there. Okay, we can see him doing that. And now this is all in here, but they were so kind to go and grab it for us that we're just going to use what they gave us. Toys R Us? What are you talking about Toys R Us for, Jesse? Get role bindings. We can see him looking for his role bindings here. Let's see if we can point out where you would be able to see that list. Resource role bindings right here. Okay. Response status code 200. 200 just means okay, it happened, and it lists the Mayor user bindings of role Mayor user to user Mayor malware. Describe role binding, and so he's trying to see what permissions he has. After seeing a role binding named job runner binding, Mayor malware described it and found out that the role is bound to a service account named job runner SA. This service account has permissions to view secrets. Here we can see that Mayor malware, now armed with knowledge that a service account has permissions he needs, lists all of the pods running in Wareville with a kubectl get pod command. So we can see that happening in this pod, or in this log here. Let's see. Can we point out where that's happening? Object reference, pods, resource, Wareville, response status, okay. That's the timestamp. Okay, so that's him doing that. He's describing the pods, getting more information about the pods. Take a sip of water real quick. Okay. Mayor malware describes the pod as a morality checker. He then would have found out that this pod runs with a job runner SA account attached, meaning that if he were able to gain access to this pod, he would be able to gain secret read access. So we can see that he checked out this morality checker one right there. As mentioned in the role discussion, exec is not usually included in a non-admin role. For the exact reason in this case, McSkitty is confident that the DevSec's ops team has overly permissive role-based access control in place. Over-permissioning is a very common issue, and it does lead to a lot of compromise. It was with this that allowed Mayor malware to run an exec command, as captured in this log above. We can see it up here. Kind event. Response started. Morality checker exec command. Bin. Shell container. He's just listing out some directories and whatnot. He's trying to create a user. He creates a user in there. Sub-resource exec. Okay. Allow RBAC role allowed by his role. So we're going to use a new command here, cat audit.log, and we're going to look at the logs for our service account instead of looking for Mr. Mayor malware. Okay, it looks like we only have... Oh no, I was about to say we only have one, but... You know what? I'm going to clear my screen. Hold on. Clear. We're going to run this again. Alright, we have all of our logs here for what the service account is doing. It lists... What else does it do? It gets the secrets right here. We can see get, resource, secrets. So this is where he's listing the secrets out. This is just more logs for the secrets. Him getting secrets. I'm assuming that we're gonna be just looking at some different stuff. Pull creds. You know, he pulls creds. This is just it's a mess to look at in the terminal. I'm just gonna use this because they give it to us. There are ways to beautify this, like CyberChef. You can prettify, beautify code. Final piece of the puzzle revolved around the secret. Finally, she runs the command, and the attack path is confirmed. He lists the secrets. We can see how he has been able to escalate his privileges and gain access to the pool cred secret using a job runner SAI service account. Let's go ahead and run this command, see what we got. We have a username. This is our secret, by the way. Username Mr. Nice, password Mr. Naughty. And then the auth. We can answer these earlier questions, by the way. Shelly.php was the name of the shell he used. What file did Mr. Malware or Mayor Malware read from the pod? What file did he read? That's like way back here up at the top. He read. What did he read? Let's go back to, what are we doing here? We might have to pull up the whole thing again. That's fine. I know he used netcat because we saw that command earlier for that shell, and we can copy that value from our secret. Go ahead and Control-Shift-C, paste that in there. All right. What file did Mayor Malware read from the pod? I'm gonna have to throw that command back in there and figure that out real quick. Just trying to see if I can see it in here. No, I'm gonna have to cat docker registry logs and just throw it in here. Alright, he reads a file at some point. Let's figure that out. Let's see if we can see it in here. It's gonna be with his shell commands. Because he was using those shell commands at some point. I think I'm actually looking at the wrong log to see the shell commands. Yes, I am. I need to look at the Apache logs. Right. I need to be looking at the Apache logs. I probably do. Hold on. Clear this. Oh, you know what? I didn't even copy the command. Copy that really quick. What? Oh, it's because I was in that container, huh? I gotta go back to this. Go back to this. Or, you know what? Hold on. I'm a step behind because we go to this DFIR and we cat out this. Okay. Let's see. He lists cats. He cats out the db.php, so he cats out the database. Awesome. So, if you liked that, look at the intro to Kubernetes for an in-depth introduction. Ooh. All right. So, who thinks the news of bringing the layoff from Party City? Also, seen the Duke Energy breach news. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about Duke Energy breach yet. Yeah, I've been pretty off the news this weekend too. I'm usually pretty on top of it, but I've not been active this weekend. Sorry, I'm just going back over chat right now. Talking about working at Toys R Us. You're so good about staying hydrated. It's less so about staying hydrated, and more the fact that my mouth is dry. My mouth is dry from talking. Don't give up. Thank you, Mariana. I did not give up. Hope not, Duke. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll probably have to dig into that on my own time. Yippee-ki-yay! That's a good movie. I love Die Hard. Oh yeah, Kim was saying she watched both of the Die Hard movies. Good old Christmas movies. They are Christmas movies. I will die on that hill. Alright. That was our double feature. We did day 21 and 22. We dug into reverse engineering, which was pretty fun. Got some basics out of the way with that. And then we dug into some Kubernetes logs. And we recreated a timeline for an attack. Went through the different stages of enumeration and privilege escalation. Finally to revealing the secret for Mr. Nice's secret. And that's a wrap, honestly. I'll be back tomorrow, normal time, Monday, day 23. There's only 2 days left. 2 days left, and try Hack Me's Advent of Cyber, so if you're behind, you better catch up. Oh, wow. Sorry, I just looked at my weather. Alright. I will see y'all tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 p.m. that is, Eastern Time, for day 23. Thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful night.